Hello guys, what's up and welcome to this video. So recently I've been playing a lot of Blackout, a lot more than I did at launch since they finally fixed the whole quad lag on the Xbox. It only took them, a month, but whatever. But I've been enjoying it a fair amount, at least to a certain degree, and although it's been kind of fun, it's definitely lacking in a lot of ways. First and foremost, it definitely feels like a rushed game mode that they made purely to capitalize off of the popularity of Battle Royales. Now, this is no secret to anyone. I think anyone with at least a couple working brain cells can recognize that if it weren't for the popularity of games like Fortnite and PUBG, Blackout simply would not be a thing. And now, even though this is a known fact, it shouldn't be so apparent to me while I'm playing the game. But I can't help but feel that way because it just lacks in so many ways. It lacks in innovation, it lacks in creativity, and it just feels like an uninspired game mode. I don't really know how to quantify it, but it just feels like it lacks a lot of soul. If you've played a lot of games, you can usually tell whenever a developer is just producing filler content just to make money versus when a developer actually has heart and soul into that game. And for a while, I always felt like Treyarch was one of those developers, and it was because of the fact that they always had such attention to detail, and their game modes and anything that they made always felt thorough and complete. But Blackout really doesn't feel that way for me at all. It doesn't bring anything new to the table, it doesn't have any sort of uniqueness or style to it. It just feels like a slap together, average battle royale that just runs smoothly, and that's really the only benefit about it. If it weren't for the fact that PUBG was a mess and isn't optimized at all, Blackout would not be as popular. Blackout is simply just a better running PUBG without a lot of the things that make PUBG good. And I say this as someone who didn't even like PUBG, so it's really lacking to me, and I can't really put my finger on it. It's just overall lackluster, and it just really does feel like an unfinished game. I feel like the Battle Royale should have at least spent 6 months more in development, if not a year longer. It's just kind of a lame experience as a whole, and just lackluster. Now, the second thing that contributes to this whole lackluster experience is the places or the named locations on the map. And the named locations or places to drop are just really lackluster and lame. So they're all maps from previous games. And this is kind of annoying because, why can't we get new content? But at first when I heard that they were reusing old maps, I thought it would be cool and I thought I'd feel really nostalgic and whatnot, but I really don't feel anything. I don't feel any attachment towards any of the maps, and I don't feel any excitement because I've played these maps repeatedly. There's no nostalgia for me because it's not like Blackout plays like a normal multiplayer map. So being in these locations doesn't really mean that it feels the same because the gameplay is not at all going to be the same. And I would have preferred new locations versus these old ones because a lot of these old locations don't even stay true to the original map. There's all these random pillars or random buildings that make it feel different, but not different enough to feel exciting. I don't know, it's just this really bad mix of nostalgia, but also reworking a map, and it just doesn't sit well for me. I don't really enjoy it. And then it doesn't really feel like a cohesive map whatsoever. None of these locations logically make sense to be in the same areas. It just feels like random location and then just grass for a couple miles, and then a random location, and that's it. There's really no cohesiveness to it, and it's just an overall lackluster map. I don't really enjoy it, And on top of that, the drops are so bad. Like, there's never more than like 2 or 3 people wherever I land. I can't figure out what's the hot spot, other than if I like drop immediately, then I guess usually there's more people. But I shouldn't have to drop to the nearest location just to encounter more than a couple people. So it's pretty lame, and I just overall don't really enjoy it, and it just kind of contributes to my lackluster feelings towards Blackout. Now, the third thing that contributes to the overall lacklusterness of Blackout are the mechanics, or more so the lack thereof of a lot of these mechanics. But the first thing that is honestly game-breaking is the sound mapping. Oh my god, it is horrible. Like, oh my god, I can't. It honestly makes me question if I'm deaf or something, because I don't know, I just can't figure out where most of these people are, even though I hear their little footsteps. But then by the time that I realize where they are, I'm already being shot at, and then boom, it's just game over, folks. And it's just not enjoyable whatsoever. And what I mean by this is that the footsteps are so hard to distinguish where they're coming from. I don't know if it's just I have a crappy headset, but I mean, my headset was $50, so I hope it's not that bad. But I don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone shares this experience, because every time I've gone into a Phil lobby and complained about it, there's never been anyone that's like, "What do you mean? The sound is so great." They usually complain with me, so I'm assuming it's a universal problem, and it is honestly ridiculous. You can never tell whether someone is above or below you, or if they're to the right or left. It is honestly so annoying, and it's only slightly improved when you use awareness, but even that is shit, because awareness makes it so that everyone sounds loud as fuck, even if they're like a mile away. Like, they sound like a stampede of footsteps, and it honestly scares the shit out of me, because I never know where they're coming from, and I just hear these loud ass footsteps, and then I realize that they're literally like across the street, you know, and down the corner, and it just can't. It's horrible. And it's not even just the footsteps that are bad, it's also the gunshots. Like, oh my god, I can't even tell you how many times I've been hearing gunshots, and it sounds like it's right by me. Like, I'll see it if I just look to the left or I look east. But nope, it's literally so far away, but it sounds so close. Or, adversely, it sounds like it's far away, but it's actually really close, and it's in a different direction from where you're heading, because you can't tell where it is. And it is just so annoying. The only good thing about the fact that the sound is so horrible is that you don't get third party as often, because they can't tell where you are. But it's still really annoying. It's like, oh my god, like, I don't even want to hear the gunshots at that point, because all it does is throw me off, and I can't even tell where they are, and it's just really ridiculous, and a really game-breaking mechanic. I mean, sound is really important in any battle royale, so it's pretty ridiculous that it's gone over a month without being properly addressed. So the second mechanic that is really annoying that doesn't exist in the game is auto-running. Now, this is something that I haven't really seen anyone complain about or want, but it's something that I want, and something that I wish was in the game, especially for consoles, because there's been so many times that I've wanted to change a couple attachments on my gun while we're heading towards the circle, and I just can't, because I'll have to just stand in the middle of a field and probably get sniped, and I can't do anything about it. I can't just change it while I'm running, and the menu is already bad enough, so it's just really annoying that the only way you can change anything significant on your gun is if you hide in a corner in a building. That's really the only way you're guaranteed safety, and it's just annoying. I don't know why they wouldn't have auto run. I mean, there's literally nothing stopping them from adding it in, but I guess no one really cares. At least it seems like no one cares, so it's probably never going to be added in, which is fine, I guess, but, you know, I would have really liked it, but whatever, it's okay. Now, another mechanic that they don't have in the Battle Royale that I honestly think is pretty important, but once again, a mechanic that no one seems to want or care about, and that is being able to diagonally aim, or at least, like, peek around corners. Now, this is a thing in PUBG that I wish they would have taken. Like, how are you gonna copy so much from other people, but not copy the good things? Like, it makes no sense to me. But basically, what this is and what this would do is it would allow for you to be able to peek around trees, which is your cover 99% of the time. Now, the reason why this is significant to me is because as of right now, if you want to shoot at someone and your only cover is a tree, you have to completely expose yourself and move to the right or to the left of the tree and then start shooting at your opponent. Now, the reason why this is really annoying is because your body is completely exposed, and it also makes it so that head glitching and having barricades and stuff like that to use for head glitching becomes a lot more OP in RNG, because they have their entire body covered besides their head, and you're just shit out of luck. It doesn't matter. I think personally if they added this peeking, it would make it more equal, and it wouldn't put so much emphasis on camping and head glitching, which is really annoying, and I think it would just overall add more strategy when it comes to getting to cover, because you can now utilize your cover more effectively to your advantage, and this could be effective with not only trees but rocks and all that shit. So I don't know, I wish they would have added this in, but I'm pretty sure at this point there's no way they would, and no one's been asking for it, so I guess it'll just forever be lacking in this way. But yeah, that about does it. Those are the reasons and why Blackout overall is just not really doing it for me. I mean, it's fun. I can pass a couple hours playing it. I mean, really only a couple, probably not more than that because I get bored. But, it's an overall okay experience. But it's still really lackluster, so I don't know. I'm really mixed on how I feel towards Blackout. It's starting to lose a lot of its excitement for me and enjoyment, so yeah. Those are the reasons why Blackout is lackluster. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below what you think about the Battle Royale. Do you agree or disagree, and why? And yeah, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all next time.